Hey, Janet Yellen, you should speak for yourself when it comes to getting involved with foreign war. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen saying that the U.S. can afford to get involved with yet another foreign war, despite the economy being in shambles, although she thinks differently. We'll talk about that particular point in a minute. Although we have inflation running rampant. I mean, try going to the grocery store and buying anything. You want to buy chicken, fish, beef, eggs, milk, whatever. Good luck. And don't even think about buying a house or a car right now. You're going to spend every dollar and dime in your name and your kid's name and your grandkid's name to be able to afford a modest home right now in 2023. I don't understand how she, being in her position as the Secretary of the Treasury, thinks that we can afford this. We're already stretched too thin in Ukraine. Now you want to go to Israel and pump billions into that war, despite us being 33.5 trillion in debt and counting. Before I go any further into it, let's go ahead and watch this first clip. And I will link to the full 20-minute or so video in the box if you want to see that without my commentary. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
What this all means. Paul Tudor-Jones, the famed investor, was on CNBC this week, and he said, "This is the most threatening and challenging geopolitical environment that I've ever seen. At the same time, the US is in its weakest fiscal position since World War II, with debt to GDP at 122%.
Debt to GDP at 122%. I mean, how is that sustainable? You need to be finding ways to reduce expenditures rather than increasing them. It doesn't really matter what the cause is for. At a certain point, we cannot afford to do this. But let's keep on going.
Can America, can the West afford another war at this time?
The answer for me is no, but let's see what Janet Yellen, again, this is our Treasury Secretary. Let's see what she says.
I think the answer is absolutely. America can certainly afford to stand with Israel and to support Israel's military needs. And we also can and must support Ukraine in its struggle against Russia.
I mean, how can we afford it? Look, I understand some people may just want to support Israel, Ukraine because of your feelings toward the nation. I understand that. I have nothing against anyone loving Israel, loving Ukraine, nothing against it at all. But can we afford it? Do we have the money? That's the problem. I mean, the debt that we have is crazy. The inflation is crazy. And you want to do things like that. All you're going to do is go back to Jerome Powell and keep spending the money, printing the money. And at a certain point, you can't keep printing your way out of it because you're going to create more and more and more inflation, which would make the average U.S. citizen be just struggling to make basic ends meet.
And look, the American economy is doing extremely well.
What this all means.
So the economy's doing well. Is that the case? I don't know. I'm not quite sure that's right. I mean, we're not destitute quite yet. We're not third world or even second world country at this point, but I'm starting to see some signs. You go over to the left coast, you got tent cities everywhere, and not just drug addicts that travel to California to become homeless there to get the benefit. I'm talking about people that are legitimately working, trying to actually make a living, but cannot afford a house. All right. We have some serious problems here. I'm not quite sure saying the economy is doing very well is appropriate. Now, I think there's one more clip I have here. This is her going further into the economy.
Look, the American economy is doing extremely well. Inflation has been high, and it's been a concern to households.
So the economy is doing very well, but inflation is very high. I mean, which one is it? Either we're doing well or inflation is high. I mean, maybe she's saying the economy is doing well and there's very high inflation. But if the economy is doing well, then why is inflation so high? Inflation is caused by measures like printing money because Americans don't have it. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
It's come down considerably. At the same time, we have about the strongest labor market we've seen in 50 years.
So is that why you're importing all these illegal aliens to come in? And you guys, I'm not sure about you, Janet Yellen, but a lot of the Democrats on the Hill are advocating that they get the ability to work. Is that why?
With 3.8% unemployment. And at the same time, America, the Biden administration, has passed legislation that is strengthening our economy in the years to come.
Oh, man. So I guess the Build Back Better, I guess that's working. I'm not really sure. A lot of people that I have seen and spoken to, even those that voted for Joe Biden, are saying that things are not going the way they should.
For the medium term.
So, yeah, that's what's going on. That's Janet Yellen. And again, I will link to the entire 20-minute or so interview in the box. But you heard that. She's saying, hey, the economy's doing very well, and we can afford to support wars in Ukraine and Israel. I think not. Now, to the whole point about Ukraine and Israel, if you support those countries, if you love those countries, then good on you. But part of the reason, not the only reason, but part of the reason why I voted for Trump in 2016 and 2020 is because he was against foreign war. And when he was the president, we had relative peace. There wasn't all this conflict going on all over the world. That's part of the reason why I voted for him. I think we all want world peace, but I think some entities don't want peace. They want problems because problems are profitable. If there's an economic downturn, if you get crazy inflation, just start a war and you can benefit financially from that. That could be what's happening here. I mean, I don't really see another reason, or there are other reasons. Ukraine, that's going to be a play to try and weaken Russia, so they're not a first-rate power in the world. Same thing, Taiwan, that's going to be in the front to China. And then Israel, that's a way to try and control the Middle East and expand Israel. See, there's a lot of geopolitical things happening, a lot of, really backdoor, backroom deals you're never going to see. And it's being presented to us like it's a good thing. Meanwhile, we're getting right with inflation. Our 18-year-old men are being sent to die overseas. All for what? All for some money? All for some global interests? I'm not really a fan. Again, I'm not against Israel. I'm not against Ukraine, but I am pro-America, America first. And getting involved in all these wars and just sowing seeds of chaos all over the country, all over the world, I'm not really a big fan of. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Janet Yellen is correct, that we can, in fact, afford to be involved with two different wars, maybe even some more? We have Ukraine, Russia. We're involved with that, sending billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. Now, we already have aircraft carriers. We got destroyers in the Mediterranean right off the coast of Israel. So we might get involved with that. We already send Israel billions in aid every year. We're going to send them billions upon billions more to potentially fight a war with the entire Middle East. And then who's going to be boots on the ground? Is it going to be us? Is it going to be their people? How many have to die? Because you got foreign money getting involved with it, furthering the conflict when it should be a peace agreement. I'm not a fan of the global war. I've been saying it. I'm going to stand on that. And what I'm definitely not a fan of is America getting involved. Let's focus on our issues here at home. The strong economy, she said, that we have. I'm not really sure about that. I think we need to just take a look at ourselves and fix ourselves. If we can help each other in America, if we can improve our country and get back on the right track, then maybe we can help others, maybe. But I still say America first, focus on ourselves. Some say, oh, well, you don't want to have any friends in the world. Well, look, friends don't require you to get involved in their conflicts all the time, okay? You got a friend fighting the other friend, y'all fight, okay? I'm not going to take sides. Y'all got it. I'm not really going to get involved. Can I even get involved? Do I have the ability to get involved? You're going to have me riding in the car with you. You're going to crash out and have me go to jail or end up dead when the real friend wouldn't even put a friend in a situation to begin with. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.